All right, so section 10.4, this is called finding missing angles of a triangle. So that means that they're going to give us two sides of a triangle. So like yesterday, they gave you one side and then you have to figure out the missing side, right? This time they're going to give us two sides and then the angle is going to be unknown. So it's going to be an x or a theta, depends on what they want to do. But the angle will be unknown, and then from there you guys are supposed to figure out what the angle is. Now, here's the thing. When we're trying to solve for angles, all right? So I'm going to put right here, to solve for an angle. So this is going to be the only thing that you guys have to kind of learn from what we already know. Now, you guys remember, like sine of theta, we would say is opposite over hypotenuse, right? So sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. If I want to know what the value of the angle is, then what you're going to do is, all right, what I'm about to show you isn't mathematically correctly stated, but you're going to get this sine and you're going to throw it over. Okay, you're going to throw the sine over, but when you do that, what happens is it looks like this. Theta is equal to sine inverse of opposite over hypotenuse. And there's a button on your calculator, well, it's a shift button. So if you look at the button that says sine, it might say like sine like this. Right above it, it might be in yellow or in green. It just kind of depends. But you'll see like a little thing written above it like that. That just means that usually you got to press like a shift button. It might be a circle or something like that. So you'll hit shift and then hit that button and it'll do sine inverse. Okay? And then you just do your fraction inside and you're done. So all you're doing is you're solving for an angle. And the way you do it is you get your trig function and you throw it to the other side. But when you literally just throw it over, it becomes a sine inverse. Okay? And then you'll just use your calculator to do the work. Same for cosine and tangent. So we know cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if you throw cosine over to the other side, it's just going to be theta equal to cosine inverse of adjacent over hypotenuse. And then for tangent, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, so tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So if you want to find just the angle, you're going to throw the tangent over to the right side, and you'll get theta equal to tangent inverse of opposite over adjacent. That's what we're doing today. We're just solving for the missing angle. Okay, they're going to give us the angle. We got to figure out which trig function to use based on the stuff we already know, right? SOHCAHTOA, right? We're going to do that. And then from there, solve for the angle. So it's not like this is a hard lesson. It's just a new little idea, finding the angle. But you're going to let your calculator do all the work for you anyway. So you should be okay. So here we go. So we have, let me move this up here really quick. So here are the instructions. It says find the measure of the angle. So find the measure of the angle to the nearest tenth. Find the measure of the angle to the nearest tenth. I'm going to draw a picture for you guys here. Number one, it looks something like this. Whoops, let me erase that. I don't want that. 90-degree angle. Here's theta. We'll call this side C, side A, side B. And then on that triangle, they're going to give us a 6 and a 13. So remember, yesterday they would have maybe given me 6, but not 13. They would have put like X where 13 is, and it was my job to figure out what that was. And they also would have given me like an angle, like 60 degrees, 70 degrees, something like that. That was yesterday. Today, they're going to give you both sides, but now your job is to figure out the angle. So normally they give you the angle, you use that with the trig function to figure out your value. Now they're going to give you both sides, but now you get to figure out the angle. Okay, so I'm going to focus on this angle. All right, the number 13, is that an adjacent, a hypotenuse, or an opposite side? That's opposite. The number 6, is that, well, we know opposites already used. So is number 6 adjacent or the hypotenuse? Adjacent. That's adjacent. So I have O and A. Which trig function do I use? Tangent, right? So I'm going to say tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now let me write down what I know. I know tangent of theta is equal to opposite, that's 13, over adjacent, that's 6. But all I got to do is find the angle, right? So remember, we're going to get the tangent, and we're just going to throw it to the other side. When I throw it over, I get theta equal to tangent inverse of 13 over 6. All right, so let me bring a calculator out really quick. So for me, if let me make sure I have it in the right mode. I have it under radian right now, so I'm going to move it to degree. All right. So I'm going to do tangent inverse of 13 over 6. So for me, I'm going to press the tangent button, and right above the tangent button, I know you can't really see it, but right above it, in blue, it says tangent inverse. Okay, so I got to press this button right here that says second for this calculator. I'm going to press second tangent. Notice how it came out tangent inverse. Okay, and then 13 divided by 6. So 13 divided by 6, close my parenthesis, hit enter, and I get 65.2248. I'll just stop after 4 numbers. So 65.2248. So theta is 65.2248. Now I'm supposed to round it to the nearest 10. So what's my answer? All right, so here we go. And that's it. I think this is easier than yesterday's homework, because you don't have to use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for anything. Like, they're giving you 2 sides. All you got to do is find the angle. And you're going to use your calculator to find that angle. Okay, so how's that one? Is that okay? Not too bad, right? Let's try a different one. So that one was a tangent one. Let's try to do a sine and a cosine. That way at least you get to see one of each. And then I'll let you guys do the work. So, all right, let's go to number 2 here. I want to do that one, or that one. There we go. All right, let's try this one. One that looks like this. This is theta. This is a 12. This is 15. And then ABC is written like this. A, B, and C. Let me move this up. So same instructions, find the measure of the angle to the nearest 10. So if I highlight my angle, that's going to be down here. Okay. The number 15 to that angle, okay, is that the hypotenuse, opposite, or adjacent? Hypotenuse, right? Remember, it's opposite the 90-degree angle, so that's why that's a hypotenuse. 12, is that an adjacent or opposite? Adjacent. It's next to it, so yeah, it's adjacent. AH, what is that? Cosine. So I'm going to put cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Let me plug in my information. So cosine of theta, adjacent is 12 over 15. You can reduce it if you want, but since you're going to use your calculator, you don't really have to. okay? Because your calculator will reduce it automatically. So I'm not going to tell you to rewrite that into, what would that be, 4/5. Like, just leave it 12/15. I'm going to get theta by itself, so I'm going to get the cosine, throw it over to the other side. So theta is equal to cosine inverse of 12/15. And since I don't know what this value is going to be, what's cosine inverse of 12/15? Let's put on our calculator here. 50 what? 36.9. Let me just put it up here so that people on the video can see it. He rounded it already? All right. So I'll put four numbers after. 36.8698. Or not actually 99, but 36.8699. 36.8699, and then round to the nearest tenth. So you said 36.9. Oh, by the way, I just realized I forgot to put something in the other answer. These are angles, right? So they're degrees. You're going to put a little degree symbol on it. Okay? 36.9 degrees. I forgot to put that on number 1. So I'm going to go back and put a little degree symbol on it. So 65.2 degrees. Okay? Just that little circle on the top corner of the number. That's your degree measure. So 65.2 degrees, 36.9 degrees. So we'll do one more. One that's sine. I might just make one up because I don't know if I want to do the only one I think that's here. So, all right, here we go. Last one. So we'll make this A, B, and C. We'll let theta be here. We'll make this a 3 and a 5. So this one is not from your homework. Okay, I'm just making it up, but it's all right. So again, my focus is to find the angle. So let me just kind of highlight the angle here. That's theta. Okay. So we'll just start going through the numbers. The number 3, according to that angle, is 3 my hypotenuse, my opposite, or adjacent? Opposite. Okay. 5, is it adjacent or hypotenuse? Hypotenuse. Okay. So OH, that's sine, right? So sine of theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of theta is 3 over 5. Okay, I want to get theta by itself, so I'll put theta equals to sine inverse of 3/5. And I'll put that into the calculator. So sine inverse, so second sine of 3 over 5. 36 point, well, it comes out to the same as the other one, right? 36.869a, which is going to be basically 36.9. Okay, but I'll just put it again, 8699. So theta is 36.8699, which is 36.9 degrees. Now I'm going to put percent. So how are we with this? Not too bad? Right, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. So I'll give you guys the homework, and if you guys have any questions on it, let me know.